listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back-to-back nights recording, trying to get caught up. Last night, we talked about AEW All In. Tonight, we are reviewing WWE Bash in Berlin, the latest international pay-per-view or PLE installment, headlined by Gunther versus Randy Orton, but majorly Punk versus Drew was the talking point. Here to break it all down with me like he's Shawn Michaels and I'm Triple H. In the co-pilot seat, as always, it's Ryan.
Yo, Micah, back to back, man. This is a special occasion for us.
Well, you know, we're trying to be loyal to our subscribers and or listeners.
Yeah,
and
little bonus, huh?
Yeah, so we're giving you a 2-for-1 this week, and then next week we'll be back with the all-out review. And hopefully we can get back to just the weekly stuff for a little bit, because this little run around September, August makes me sick of wrestling and not wanting to watch anything.
Well, we are the whole month of September after all out. We have no pay-per-views. We have no PLEs. So we're good, Mike. At least 4 weeks after that.
Okay. What's the next event? I know AEW has Wrestle Dream in October, I think. What's WWE's next thing? Survivor Series?
It's Bad Blood.
Bad Blood, okay. And then Survivor Series. So, and we may be there for Bad Blood, so that would be another interesting review from our perspective. But we'll see. They want an arm and a leg and possibly a testicle for them shows.
Yeah, before we get started, Micah, RIP, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice. We haven't been on since that happened, but yeah, man, huge star of the 90s, and our condolences go out to his family. RIP, Sid Vicious.
Good point. I think we've missed, honestly, the past couple. It kind of feels like there's been a run. I know Alpha and Sika passed. I don't know that we touched on those. Sid is the one, like Alpha and Sika, I didn't really see them a whole lot. But they kind of just have more of a legacy on the business, I guess, obviously, because Roman and the Usos and the Bloodline stuff is so like relevant. But Sid, man, I don't know, that one hurt me because he wasn't that old. I mean, you got to think like Shawn and Triple H, they're older, but they're not like on the verge of death.
He was a part of their generation, basically. Aren't you watching that era right now of the mid-90s?
Yeah, and Sid is currently the WWF champion.
Yeah.
So it's weird, but I think it was Ibu from Wrestle Purist put on there, like nobody, he wasn't necessarily like the greatest wrestler of that era, but he just had that look. Like people got so captivated by him because I know people talked about it all over, but I just kind of watched this for the first time. Sid versus Shawn at Survivor Series 96.
Great match.
Yeah. And Sid, they basically do a double turn. I mean, Shawn still is a relatively baby face after this for a little bit, especially because when they go to Rumble, they're in San Antonio. But Sid beat up the cameraman and gave Jose Lothario a heart attack, and he was getting cheered.
Well, yeah, man. He just had that presence that he passed the airport test for sure. But during that time, people were getting sick of Shawn, and Sid was just that cool heel, man, that you had to cheer for. It was always like that throughout his whole career.
And he wasn't even necessarily like the most dastardly heel either. He just... You just never know what you were going to get with him when he came out. Like, whose side was he going to be on tonight? And I don't know. That was cool.
He was so over. He was the first one that got Hulk Hogan booed. Because I don't know if you've ever watched that 1992 Royal Rumble, Micah, but Sid is the one that helped Ric Flair win that Rumble. And the crowd erupted when he eliminated Hulk Hogan from the Rumble.
No, I don't remember that, actually. I don't know that I've ever, like, sat down and watched that match.
even back then, bro, people were ready for Sid. And the biggest thing about Sid that held him back throughout his career is a little softball. He seemed to always go missing around that time of year. But yeah, man, it was larger than life. And yeah, man, RP Sid.
Yeah. And I know he has some grandkids and stuff, so like you said, condolences go out to his family, and he's got some of the most like legendary clips to me, like that one where he goes out there and the car is crushed and he just jumps on it, Goldberg. Like that clip never fails to crack me up whenever I see it on Twitter.
You ever see that clip of him? I think it might have been WWF, but he was cutting a promo saying that the guy that he was about to face was half the man that he was, and that he had half the brain that he does. Yeah, man. See it. Who could forget about when he snapped his leg in WCW?
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of memorable clips of old Sid.
Yeah. Is that the promo where he goes, can we restart this? And JR goes, it's live, pal.
That's another one. That's a different one.
See, that's the one I always think of.
We're live, pal.
But yeah, RIP Sid, like you said, passed the airport test, and guys just don't look like that anymore. And he didn't look like the 80s wrestler that looked like he was 45 and he was actually 28. Like Sid he legitimately looked terrifying, and it also helped he was like 6'7".
And you believed he was insane.
Yeah. So speaking of things that will drive you insane, a plane trip to Germany is over 12 hours. And I don't think I could stand that, but we're going to take a trip to Germany and talk about Bash in Berlin, which happened this past weekend. And Ryan, it started off with the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes versus challenger Kevin Owens.
Yeah, the crowd I liked the crowd all night. I don't think they overdid it with the singing like the France crowd did.
Nah, I was just gonna say one thing. The only thing I notice about these foreign crowds is they all have the same chant, and I don't know where it originates from. But like in this match, they would go Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and they just do it forever.
They had another chant that translated to "in your face," and they chanted all night. I forget what the chant was, but I saw it online afterwards. But apparently, it's a thing over there where a common wrestling chant. I don't know the indies they have over there in Germany, but they would chant "in your face" a lot all night.
Yeah. It's a little weird, a little more 90s WWE probably.
But still, they were hot for this. First time they've been back in Germany in 20 plus years. So yeah, man, it was a good atmosphere. As far as the match goes, 3-star General took over, huh?
I sent you the picture of it, and it's the best thing I could sum it up. Match was like a 10 milligram melatonin. I was falling asleep at work trying to watch this thing, dude. Like, I could not keep my head up.
Come on, man.
I'm not very interested in it. And I've talked about KO on here and just that his character, especially right now, is very boring to me. Cody's matches, well, he's dubbed the 3-star general for a reason. And I also, I hate babyface versus babyface. And I rag AEW for it, so I can't be a hypocrite. It's just stupid 90% of the time to me to have a babyface versus a babyface unless they're both like mega stars, Rock, Stone Cold, Punk, Cena level. And I didn't find this to be that kind of exception.
I see where they were going for here. They were telling a story that KO was losing his killer instinct and that he could not target Cody Rhodes' bad knee, which they introduced 2 days before the PLE. But but whatever. But yeah, so I see the vision here. It was just as far as the bell to bell action goes, it was there. KO took how many crossroads in this match, Micah? Four?
A
Four
lot.
crossroads? Yeah, what did Roman say? That move don't beat nobody. It really don't. It don't beat nobody.
And I was
Yeah.
going to say this too about the crossroads. Do you remember the spot where he hits two of them and then KO reverses it? Stunner, yes, no sells it, stunners him, and then like Cody no sells that and hits him with another. Look, man, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not going to call out something on AEW and not call it out for WWE. That's not like you are destroying your top baby face's big move. I've already talked about at length why I hate when he does it 3 times in a row.
I am still not used to people kicking out of the Stone Cold Stunner. So it was a little jarring to see somebody kick out 2. Have you ever seen that?
Not that I remember. Like, dude, if somebody got hit with the second AA and they weren't Rock, Cena, or Roman, it's dangerous water. Like you're done for.
Well, to be fair, Micah, that move lost his luster when he got later on in his career. He started hitting 3-4 AAs in the match.
Oh well. At least I remember when I was watching, it was still Super Cena was running wild, brother.
Oh yeah, one. It was over. But the STF, he put the STF on with that all that space in between his arms and the guy's head. It was over for you, man.
So I don't like that. I know Roman usually hits like 2 spears and Superman punches, but it's not consecutive. It's something like you kind of forget about it the later the match goes on. So then when you get hit with another one, it's like, oh, daggum, he's done for now. That's the second one. But like when Cody hits 2 back to back, it just don't feel. You should only need 1.
Yeah. A finisher should be a finisher. 1 of them. 1 will do. Maybe 2 if it's like a marquee match at the main event of WrestleMania. But yeah, bro, finish your match with your finisher.
Yep.
And use 1 of it. 1 of your finishers.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, like you said, I agree with you. The story they were telling with the back and forth in KO's mind, that was like kind of interesting to me. But I just really feel like it's time for a full heel turn with him. And I know he plays a big part in this bloodline story, but brother, it's been going on for like 4 years. It's time.
They said something before the match, they being Michael Cole. He mentioned that KO has not held a title in 7 years, a singles title. How is that possible?
I have no idea.
He had so much gasoline on him when he first debuted. Micah, he beat Cena in his first match. Clean.
I remember that one.
He did his powerbomb finisher and pinned Cena as the NXT champion. And then he won the Universal champion less than 5-6 months on the main roster. Like, bro had all that gasoline on him. And now he's been babyface for a long time. And he's due for a switch up.
Well, it's also crazy to me too, because if I remember correctly, that was around the Jericho feud, wasn't it? The last time he was champion?
The last time he was Universal champion, yeah.
Oh, I thought that may have been his last singles title. Because, I mean, but that story is one of the things people remember, like, the most fondly since, like, I guess things have really heated up. Like, during the dark ages, I guess, people always have talked highly of that feud. And it's kind of felt since then to me that he hasn't really meant as much.
Well, he had a feud with Shane McMahon. Like, I'm not even joking. It was a pretty good feud. It was, I think it was on the first SmackDown on Fox, which coincidentally, this is the last SmackDown on Fox that happened tonight. But yeah, he had a ladder match with Shane McMahon on the first SmackDown on Fox like 5 years ago. I mean, he's had some memorable feuds. It was just he's been miscast as a babyface for far too long.
Yeah. So Cody wins as we all expected, and just another match to me between two guys. I didn't really care for it, and it was putting me to sleep.
Okay. All right. So do they continue it or this it? I think it is. This is it actually.
For the KO run, or
KO
like that
Cody.
being his main opponent.
KO Cody. Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Man.
I don't really
They got-
see, unless they're going to turn KO or something, or turn Randy.
Did you see what happened tonight on SmackDown?
Well, I heard that they had or they booked a steel cage match between Cody and Solo next week.
Why are we? Come on, man. Solo again?
Who else does he have?
God, man. I can't take it anymore, man. Solo? You remember how bad that match was?
Yeah, but I got to take, and then we'll move to I guess the next part of this. Does Cody's reign kind of remind you of, I guess, like when the Miz or like Punk was champion, and Punk's reign was actually good, but it still kind of felt like whoever was WWE champion at that time that wasn't John Cena wasn't the main focus of the story and the company. And I know people love Cody, but it kind of feels like his reign is wrapped constantly around the bloodline stuff, and it's almost like he can't get out of that because there's no one else there.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair comparison. He's not really the main focus on SmackDown when Roman is around. Still, when Roman's around, people are chanting for the OTC. People want to see what the bloodline does, and Cody is left with the scraps on the card. He's left with guys like stale babyface KO and unready Solo Sikoa. Like, come on, man. Yeah, I can see that. That's a fair comparison.
I don't even know if KO is stale at this point. That might be too generous. He's molded.
Oh, come on. I like KO.
I just think this run is over with. But anyways, we'll move on to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. We had Bianca and Jade versus Alba Fire and
Isla Dawn.
Thank you, sir. What's their team name?
The Unholy Connection.
Union.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. See, we finish each other's sentences, but again, 10-gram melatonin. I just wasn't really interested in this. I thought it was a stupid decision for them to take the belts off Bianca and Jade. And as soon as I heard that this was going to be the match, I knew that they were going to put the belts back on them unless they were going to turn Jade or Bianca. And I didn't feel like they were leading towards that yet. First, how can they start the match without both people in their corners? That really irked me.
Wait, what do you mean? Explain it to me, because I walked away during this match.
I believe that when they started the match, Bianca started in the ring, and both girls from the Unholy Union, or women, they were both in there with Bianca, and they rung the bell. Like, they were both facing, like, I don't know. One was on Bianca's left, like 5 feet away, and one was on the right. Kind of like they were, like, measuring her up, and they rung the bell.
That bothered you, huh?
It did. I mean, I know that's a nitpick, but in a tag match, one person's got to be in their corner, the other person has to be in their corner, two in the middle, and you go. Like, that's it. But I don't know. It bothered me enough to make a comment about it, even if it seems insignificant to everybody else.
I get you. I'm a stickler for the rules too, man.
And
grab the tag rope too. Grab the dang tag rope
while you're at it. And I don't know. I feel like I have to call WWE out for it too, because I don't want to be called a fed shill, and I don't like real graps. So, I'm going to call it out for both because I'm not going to be a hypocrite. But other than that, there was a couple decent spots. Most of it was plagued by what plagues most multi-women or even multi-men matches at this point. Very obvious collaboration or cooperation. And, the only positive to me is that the belts are back on Bianca and Jade because the division is really in the gutter right now. And
was it ever out the gutter?
Well, you said it, not me, but I'm not going to refute your point.
Why is it that the women's tag titles are defended at every PLE? Meanwhile, the men's SmackDown tag titles and Raw tag titles haven't been defended since WrestleMania on PLE.
Now that you mention it.
Yeah, bro, I swear they have a women's tag title match at every PLE.
Oh, they do, because they had it at Clash.
Yeah, at SummerSlam.
And at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Wait, who did they face at SummerSlam?
It was like a 3-way, wasn't it?
No, that was at Clash, I thought.
I know they had to defend it at SummerSlam, bro. Wasn't the Unholy Union? Yeah, wasn't the Unholy Union champs at that time?
Yeah, because Clash was before that, and I highly doubt they would have left Bianca and Jade off the card, at least from what I remember.
What was that card? It wasn't a very big card.
Nah, Rhea. Nah, they weren't on the card, actually.
Okay, I misspoke.
But still, they have at least defended it 2 or 3 times on pay-per-view this year, or PLE, and the tag titles have not been defended. And the tag division is also in shambles, but I wouldn't say that it's in that much better shape than the women's division.
You remember the time before? Because they had like a big ladder match at WrestleMania. But the time before that, the last time it was defended tag titles was Extreme Rules the year before. Like, bro, so it's been like 2 times in the last calendar year that the tag titles have been defended on PLE.
Jesus. I don't know, man. That's something about the booking in today's environment in wrestling. Just there's never a focus on tag wrestling. And to me, there really hasn't been since like 2021 AEW. And it kind of sucks, but like, I don't really feel like there needs to be a women's tag division. I don't think it does anything for anybody. And if they want another belt, I'd rather them just have a mid-card title. And yeah, other than that, this match was here. I don't think any of the bobbles that happened were Jade's fault. So I guess that's a positive, but congrats, Bianca and Jade.
Yeah.
So following that, we had probably the most anticipated match on this card, considering there was actually a stipulation and there wasn't a clown in the middle of it. Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk in a strap match. So first,
this was Punk's third strap match in WWE.
Yeah, which I like that they mentioned that because I remember the one with Umaga, but I did not know about the one in OVW. So it kind of added to the lore that, Punk was undefeated in these matches. And if you want to count it too, because it's kind of a similar concept, Punk also won that dog collar match in AEW. So,
and he was supposed to have a strap match with Ricky Starks.
Yeah, that's
Remember?
true.
And then Brian stepped in.
Yeah. So, kind of a common theme in Punk's big feuds. So, a net positive there. I enjoyed the hot start. It makes sense for the feud, obviously.
Yeah.
And along with the fact that we hadn't seen it in every other match before, because I'm not going to name names, but in certain companies, when they run an angle like that, it happens multiple times in the night. If this is the only time it happens, it just means more. So I like that.
Yeah, I like a good old jump start if two guys hate each other and they don't want to wait for them to hit their special taunts on the way to the ring. Nah, bro, get out the ring. This is no DQ anyway. We about to
Yep.
brawl. I like that.
Yeah, and in a strap match, it's kind of interesting too because they have to like lock them in before the match. So that was kind of a interesting like dynamic. You know, Drew kind of got free shots in before the strap happened,
Yeah.
so it
Did
just
you
added to the match.
did you notice the gear that Punk was wearing
I mean, I remember it being white.
from that was his gear from All In last year. His last match in the AEW?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Same
Nah,
gear.
I didn't notice it. I did think it was kind of weird. He didn't have any stars on the backside of the tights, but
Oh, looking back there,
well, I mean, you know, it's there.
huh?
I can't deny my goat.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
but you know, a lot of people, and we talked about it before the show comes on, a lot of people gripe about the four corner crap, having to touch four corners, even though you hate this guy. It's a wrestling match. Is that the most ridiculous rule we've ever seen followed? Like, the goal, yes, is to inflict punishment. That's what the strap is for. But you know what the objective is?
To win the
Winning the
match.
match.
What a concept, huh?
Yeah. I mean, like, for instance, if me and you like hated each other or got in a fight or whatever, and we went to play basketball the next day, am I going to start a fight at the basketball court? You know, probably not. But you know what I am going to do? I'm fixing to take it to you in this game.
Oh yeah,
And
I wouldn't win.
that's kind of what I get from it. Like, it's the stipulation they got stuck with. Therefore, I'm going for the win, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to do everything in my power to beat the crap out of you. And that's what they did here. And Punk even got color.
Accidentally, I was when it happened, I was like, well, hold up now there, buddy. Save her for Hell in a Cell. Come on now.
I didn't mind it just because it wasn't like a ton.
Yeah.
You know, but now if he bleeds a gusher and Hell in the Cell, I'm also not against that because you know I'm a big fan of it, especially if it's in a actual good feud.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You know what did bother me in this match though, Micah? And I did enjoy the match overall. But
Uh-oh.
CM Punk locked Drew into a sharpshooter. It's a decent sharpshooter, not the best. But Drew was tapping out, passed out, and then a few minutes later, Drew hits a neck breaker and just kips up. Like, bro, when you just are you just selling your legs and you just passed out from the pain? Oh no, I can still do a
Yeah.
kip up. Like, come on, man, chill out.
I see your point. I honestly in real time watching the match I didn't notice it, but I mean, like you said, I'm kind of a stickler for the little stuff and the rules. So if you're going to be in pain or selling a certain part of your body, you
Yeah,
need to have that continuity throughout the match.
yeah, and you passed out, bro. Like, don't get hitting kip ups, man.
Yeah. Um, Another thing that was a crazy visual to me was when Drew picked Punk up basically like a baby or like a toddler and just threw him over the rope onto that table.
Oh yeah, little
Which
big boy.
also was the perfect way to use a table because I had completely forgot that they sat the table out there. And it wasn't like they had some real contrived spot for the table.
And I like the fact that McIntyre he kept on trying to put the table back under the ring when
Yeah.
CM Punk would bring it out. Because why would you want that involved?
Mm-hmm.
So
And then Drew ends up turning it around on Punk because he wanted it so bad. You know what that is? Storytelling.
Know what else is storytelling? They got the biggest reaction of the night so far.
Punk
CM
getting
Punk
that
getting the
bracelet.
bracelet. Yeah. Wow, getting the bracelet. Interesting.
Crazy concept, right?
Mhm. Didn't need to
And,
burn anybody's house down to get a big reaction.
well, you said it, not me. The people online, this has been such a big talking point this week about how stupid it is that this feud is over a bracelet. Look, man, it's not exactly about what the object is. It's about what you place in the object. For instance, because I was thinking of this earlier, my dad has passed away, if you didn't know. I have a flannel in my closet that was his, and sometimes I'll wear it. Now, if you stole that flannel from me, I'd be pretty pissed off. And I'd probably come after you and say something about it and say, hey, man, that means a lot to me. I'd like that back. But if you just stole one of these $15, $20 flannel, well, that's pre-COVID prices, a $30, $35 flannel for my closet, I probably wouldn't care all that much. But it's about what people place in the object that is the bone of contention. So,
Yeah, not only that though, Micah. Before they stole your flannel, they put you out of work for 7 months. They hurt your shoulder, man. You can't go to work for 7 months. That adds to it as well. That adds to the anger.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, okay, for instance, if we're gonna, because people have been comparing it, people are like, oh man, he burned his house down. Okay, well, you know why the house is important? Because it wasn't Swerve's actual house, it was Swerve's childhood home, apparently. You know why that's important? Swerve places importance in that item. It means something to him. So just because it's a bracelet, does that really matter? It's important to CM Punk, and you took it from him. You also took his WrestleMania moment. Punk took Drew's WrestleMania moment. Punk beat Drew up and left him kind of not in a pool of his own blood, but
it cost him Money in the Bank.
Yep. So then Drew leaves Punk in a puddle of his own blood in Chicago. It's not just one layer, it's an onion, and there's lots of layers to it, and that's what makes a good feud. Just because a bracelet is a center point doesn't mean, oh, the feud's garbage and it's silly and it makes no sense. It's about what you put in that item. And if Punk cares about it, just like he cares about not getting his WrestleMania moment, then it's a good feud and it's believable. And we talked about this before we got on the air. You said it. He said in the promo, word for word on the TV show, it's not about the bracelet. It's about the actions.
Yeah. That's right, bro. Fantastic match. The pop was insane for Punk getting the bracelet back. Don't listen to the internet.
Yep. That right there is the biggest tell. The pop for Punk getting this $5 bracelet was the biggest pop of the night. Potentially. Maybe aside from like Gunther, that right there tells you it's over and the people like it. So
the live audience loves it in a sold out house. And in that sold out house, they had their biggest gate of all time. So yeah, internet basement dwellers, be damned.
But other than that, for this match, like you said, I thought it was really good. They used objects in the best way possible to me. There wasn't just stuff laying everywhere or just constant grabbing something, using it, grabbing something else. You forgot about the table. The chair was involved in the match, but it was a small part. It wasn't like the focal point of the match. And they weren't using the items to pop the crowd. They weren't pulling the chair out and the fans going, ooh, while Punk looks at the chair. Like, he gets it. He has a mission, and he's accomplishing that mission. So I thought even the little things here were done well, which is why Punk has always connected with me so well, especially in the second run of his. And overall, I thought it was probably the best, or absolutely the best match on the card, the best match of the feud so far. I'm very interested to see where they go from here in what we think is going to be in a Hell in the Cell. And I'm hoping that kind of encapsulates this feud and leads it to be my feud of the year.
Yeah, I agree, man. Great match. But after this match, I had my second favorite match of the night. And I think that was the mixed tag match. Like,
it was Rhea Ripley with Damian Priest, the Terror Twins, versus the dastardly Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. And first off, the crowd for Rhea Ripley, I know we talked about the bracelet, but good God Almighty, she got a huge pop coming out.
yeah.
She is arguably like a top 5 star in the company right now, men or women. And I honestly think this whole angle, or maybe just her like being more of the center point of Damian, has gotten him way more over too.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He is in a better position than, and he being Damian, than he was when he was world champion. I feel like he's a bigger star now.
Absolutely. And I thought this match was solid. It wasn't just like, a technical masterclass. One thing I did notice, and I kind of want to see if you thought the same thing. Rhea got Dom in that corner, or that draped corner leg choke.
Yeah.
Call back to really what started all this, like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And Micah, at that moment, they had on the screen the little decibel levels. They had that little graphic periodically throughout the night.
Yeah.
That was the loudest it was all night when Rhea locked in that triangle choke on Dom. It was even louder because they put the graphic up during Cody's entrance. It was louder during that moment than it was during Cody's entrance.
Yep.
Crazy.
It's crazy, like just how over Rhea is alone, but then just how hated Dominic Mysterio is.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
He is probably like, I don't know, man. I've got a crazy take, but out of the 2020s so far, Dominic might be the best heel outside of Roman Reigns.
Remember his rookie year? It was an argument for him and Hook, like who was going to be the bigger star. And Hook just plateaued where he was at. And Dom is, I'm going to call it right now, man. I think Dom should win Money in the Bank next year.
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah. I think it would do. He's the most hated guy on the roster.
Yeah. And
by far.
And it works best because it has kind of been a couple years, but they hadn't really had like a chicken heel be Money in the Bank. And to me, that's where it works the best. Like the Miz, Edge kind of played into that some. But dude, I'm telling you, when Dom ends up stealing that from somebody, it's going to be a huge pop.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And the Reign, I don't know how it would go. Like, I don't know if I can buy him as just like a world champion right now. But the pop alone, and if it's like a short run or whatever, just to kind of like heat him up and maybe get a babyface over for beating him, I don't think that would be the most ridiculous thing. I mean, who genuinely, like you said when we had that conversation, who would have thought Dom would be like where he is this fast?
Yeah, I agree, man. And I know we give Liv Morgan a lot of flack on the show, but she's playing the role well, man. She started to grow on me as a performer.
Pause.
On screen. Well, okay. As an on-screen character, Micah, she is fitting the role well with Dom by her side.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like the Miss Extreme persona she was doing, but kind of the like, I don't want to call her bimbo.
No, call her like it is.
Well, I guess like the bimbo, the
what
I'm
would
the
JR
hot
say?
girl.
What would JR say? Call her Jezebel.
Yeah. The Jezebel bimbo, I'm the hot girl and I know it, with the most hated guy in the company. It works. And like, you buy it from her because she kind of looks like, she would be that preppy white girl that everybody went to high school with.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, do we need the Judgment Day to win this feud? I feel like we do.
Yeah, just because I don't think that like I don't think that Dom really needs it. He's in that area of so hated that like, just because he loses, it don't really hurt him.
No. I mean the Judgment Day, like and
Oh,
JD. You think they should be? They should come out on top during this feud, right?
uh,
Because
if you
remember
want to,
last time? Remember last time when Edge got kicked out the group and then he proceeded to beat every single member in the group, and
that is
that did not
true.
help Judgment Day at all. I don't
The
think we can't do this again. We can't do that.
I think the only thing with that is, I think to legitimize them, I guess my dog is not happy about us even fathoming the idea of Judgment Day getting the win. But I think Damian has to get the win. Or I'm sorry, I think Finn has to get the win over Damian to legitimize the Judgment Day. And they've kind of got Damian in this area where he's so over that like maybe it can carry on to the next thing. I don't think Rhea needs to win. I think she can be still over enough by herself. And I'm still holding out hope for that Bianca Rhea match at WrestleMania. So I would like to see that in the future. Maybe Rhea wins the Royal Rumble again. Bianca finds her way into the title picture on SmackDown and Rhea challenges her. But then again, if
Oh
you've got
man.
Liv opposite her after Royal Rumble, why would she go for Bianca and not Liv?
And I think Bianca and Jade are on a collision course for WrestleMania next year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I feel like Judgment Day should win this feud because of just what happened last time they kicked somebody out of the group, when the guy that they kicked out the group proceeded to, beat Finn Balor at WrestleMania, beat
Yeah.
Damian Priest on a random Monday Night Raw, and got the upper hand on Rhea Ripley when he got his wife involved. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah. It didn't really do anything for anybody,
Oh,
which has kind of been the run of Edge
of
since he
course, yeah.
returned.
Yeah, Adam Hogan.
Well, they did team together. Other than that, there was a sunset flip that she did, or that Liv did to Rhea into the barricade, that I thought was a crazy spot that I wouldn't have taken. And yeah, I mean, solid match. There was, maybe a couple things here that Liv did that weren't just the best thing in the world, but when you're over, you're over, and when you got heat, you got heat, and it's working for them so far.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun match.
Yeah. So we arrive at the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh man.
Randy Orton versus Gunther.
Ah.
The people hated on this one online.
Well, it's Blandy Orton. What do you expect?
Yeah. I wanted to give it a chance, man, but I ain't gonna lie. I had to skip the last 15 minutes.
No, the 15. You skipped 15 minutes of the match?
Dude, it went 35 minutes.
It was a glacial 35 minutes, dude.
I was like, okay, we're at 20 minutes. Like, it's fixing to pick up a little bit. I'm on like skip. And I kept skipping. And I kept skipping. And I kept skipping. And it wouldn't end.
Yeah. Gunther took the most punishment I've seen since he's been on the main roster. Like, Randy beat the heck out of him.
Yeah.
It's the most I ever seen him sell. And speaking of selling, they sold I mean, they sold well in this match, Micah. Can't take that away from them.
I
They sold the
mean,
moves.
yeah, but Jesus, dude. They could have cut 10 minutes off this. There was no reason for Gunther to have that daggum sleeper hold in for 5 minutes at the end of the match. It just
he
it
passed
felt like
out.
they stretched everything out. And like you said, the dynamic was really weird because Gunther's not typically an underdog, but because he was in Germany, he kind of had to play the underdog role. And that's not something that I like seeing from Gunther. He's the big guy. He's supposed to dominate everybody, be the powerhouse. And I didn't like the turned tables here. And I don't know. Randy bringing back a little bit of his heel-ness, like the eye poke and all that. That was cool. But, dude, a 35-minute Randy Orton match in 2024, nobody needs that.
Nobody deserves to see that. I like the show of respect that they had at the end. Made it seem like, hey, this kid actually, he can hang right here. And Randy gave the rub to Gunther, but yeah, man, it's Blandy Orton. So what do you expect?
Yeah. I mean, legend of the business. And like you said, I like that gesture. You know, it was better than like Roosh trying to give that gesture to MJF when MJF's the guy that's over.
What happened to him?
I'm sure he's having visa issues.
Oh, well.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did skip like a good portion of this. So is there anything I missed or like anything really of note? Because I was like, certainly they're going to the finish, and no.
Bro, when I tell you they sold they sold what they needed to sell, and it looked like both guys went in a car crash because they were beating the heck out of each other. It just wasn't very entertaining to me. Just didn't catch my eye like I thought the match was, because I remember liking their King of the Ring match way more than this.
Oh, that one was way better, but it went like half the time. I think it was 15 minutes.
That's probably why it felt better. It wasn't a half-hour slog to get through.
Just, I don't know, man. Randy's just not the guy to have that match with. Like, if it was Gunther, yeah, it went 22 minutes. Meanwhile, like that one went 35.
It looked like the crowd wanted to be anywhere but that match. Because do you remember they started a Mexican wave? Yeah, during that match. You remember that?
I don't think I was there for that.
Bro, the crowd just, the Mexican wave is, right?
Mm-mm.
Where you like, the crowd is holding their arms in the air and then it goes all around the crowd. You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about like when everybody kind of bends down and then like you pick up in your section and it kind of moves. Oh, yeah, that's just the wave. I didn't know it's called the Mexican wave.
That's what they called it. But yeah, that happened during the match. Like the fans were trying to entertain themselves.
Well, can you blame them? Like when everybody was doing those Adam chants at Revolution 2022, can you blame them?
Well, I guess you got it.
So, I don't know. Bash in Berlin, if that Punk match wasn't on it, it wasn't for me. I don't remember what I gave All Out last night or All In last night. I think I gave it like a 6.5. Man, I got to go like a 5.5 for this card. I didn't really enjoy anything other than the Punk match, and the Rhea match was fun. But outside of that, ooh.
Oh, man. Yeah, that sounds about right. 5.5. This was one of the weaker PLEs they've had this year.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think, man, when they leave America for these PLEs, they're not hitting for me like the ones in America. I don't know. Just doesn't feel the same.
I think it's just the B-list pay-per-views. Like I just don't think they really care. Well, I'm not going to say care as much, but it just feels like there's never anything with some real stakes.
Unless it's a big four PLE, then nothing's going to happen. Like nothing big is going to happen. and they're just building to the next PLE.
Yeah.
And then nothing ever gets resolved. It's just rinse and repeat, man. I mean, you got great crowds for these overseas PLEs, but other than that, I don't know. They're not hitting like I thought they would at the beginning of the year when
No.
they announced all these locations.
Because, like, will the people, but my thing is, will the people keep sticking around for these shows? I know it's working right now, but I just mean, like, will the people keep sticking around for these B-list shows if they keep not getting anything, like, really? Because typically it's, like, one thing they care about. For instance,
Yeah.
Clash of the Castle. You got Cody versus AJ and the I Quit match. Wasn't their best. The one at Backlash was better. You had the triple threat tag team match for the women's championship, tag team championship. It was just kind of there. Sammy versus Gable was the thing I felt like a lot of people wanted to see because they thought Gable was going to get it. He ended up not. Then you get Bayley versus Piper Niven. Bayley wins, obviously. Yeah. Priest versus Drew. And people wanted to see if Drew was going to get it, but you figured, well, probably not.
I think it is the fact that WWE has these really long title reigns now. So when the PLEs are mostly, like 95% of the PLEs are mostly title matches, you know that 9 times out of 10, the title's not changing hands unless we go to, they have to have a historical reign, or they have to have it has to happen at a big 4 PLE for something of note to happen. You see what I'm saying? Maybe they need more feuds without titles.
No, I agree. I think that's why the Punk Drew stuff worked so well at Bash in Berlin, because it was something you cared about that you didn't really know who was going to win.
Yeah.
So,
they just need more feuds without titles. Not every PLE needs to be a Night of Champions where you have every title involved. Like, that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah. And I don't even mind that. Like, obviously titles need to be defended, but outside of the Punk Drew stuff, like, is there really a big WWE feud that doesn't involve a title that you care about right now? I can't think of one.
Well, have these titles defended on the weekly show too, and have somebody beat somebody for that title on the show. Is that too much to ask for?
No, I agree. Like, it's the thing I told you about a couple days ago. It's that any given Sunday feeling, and in the Attitude Era, that kind of ruined it because that happened too much. But there's a happy medium where a title can change hands on the weekly show and it be a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So, overall, that was Bash in Berlin. We'll move to the pay-per-view this weekend. Go ahead and give our predictions for AEW All Out from Chicago. And I don't know if this is like the official rundown or order, I guess, but we're going off of Wikipedia. So first up, Ryan, we got Will Ospreay versus Pac for the AEW International Championship.
Oh, well, come on now. This is Will, obviously. Pac is in that weird spot where he is used pretty frequently when he's there, but he's never going to win a big marquee match like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be Ospreay. He just won the belt back, and I'm sure I know what this match will be, and I have a feeling that I probably won't like it, but I'll give it a chance.
What's the odds of Ricochet coming out after this match and having to stare down the wheel? What do you put those chances at?
Oh,
90%?
Yeah, minus 100.
Yeah, there.
So, yeah, he'll probably be there. But I got a question because it ties into this next match. Will Ospreay, babyface. Pac, also babyface, right?
I think so, yeah. Okay.
So the next match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, we got the Young Bucks versus the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. Well, they're facing against heels. So those guys are baby faces, and they're teaming with Pac, and Pac is facing another baby face, which kind of would make Pac the heel, right?
You would think, yeah. Okay.
So, masterful booking. Because those guys are the trios champions.
Oh yeah, they are. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the tie-in there. That's why I'm like, why is one guy facing against a baby face and the other guys are facing against heels? Now, if it was like Pac versus Okada, okay, maybe.
I think we saw that.
We did.
Okay. Why isn't the Grizzled Young Vets in this spot right? Didn't they just debut?
Yeah, they're not on the card. I don't.
Oh,
To
shocking.
be honest with you, I don't really know what they have done.
They have had backstage segments, Mike. I don't know if they've been colliding on Saturdays, but they haven't been on Wednesdays. Because I watched last couple of Dynamites.
I do think they have been colliding.
Okay. With the Outrunners, huh?
Well, hey, they put butts in merch seats.
Top merch sellers, the Outrunners. Bro, I don't know who those guys are. I couldn't pick them out of a police lineup. The Outrunners.
I've seen some clips. I don't think they're great in the ring, but their gimmick is just kind of like old style 80s guys, and it's interesting mid-card stuff to say the least. But the Young Bucks versus the Blackpool Combat Club, who you got, Ryan?
I go with the Young Bucks again. I think they're winning, and we're getting some maybe this builds to whatever Dean Ambrose is talking about, how this isn't their company anymore. Maybe we're building to something.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Blackpool Combat Club are the right people to take the belts off the Bucks, and I don't see any reason they would give it up now, especially when they're kind of leading to this grizzled young vets thing, or at least that's the impression I got after All In. So,
Yeah.
Chicago Street Fight, Ryan. We got Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander.
That's on the card? Really?
Yeah, surprisingly.
Wow.
It was a feud I actually was interested about when it started, and now they've killed it.
I feel like Willow needs a win because she lost the women's title or TBS title not too long ago, and she really hasn't done anything of note. So I think her first feud she should win, but I'm going Statlander to win this match with the help of Stokely.
I think I'm gonna go Willow actually, just because I think she needs a rebound win against Statlander. Just because, like you said, she just lost her belt to Mercedes, and I thought she was really, really over during that feud, and I feel like she's really cooled off because Will Washington's been cooking, even though this feud has sucked pond water, and both of them are worse off than they were when it started. So I don't know. Maybe that's just false hope.
Did you see that Mariah May announced that she's going to have a live celebration on Sunday? So who do you think is going to interrupt her? You know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to interrupt her.
Yeah.
They don't just have celebrations out of nowhere on wrestling television.
Maybe I don't think they do Jamie Hayter just yet. Maybe like Thunder Rosa.
What if Becky Lynch?
Oh God.
What if she goes through the forbidden door? Come on, man. What if?
It ain't happening.
What if? What if it happens?
I'd probably pop, but Becky in 2024 isn't what she used to be, in my opinion, and I haven't really been interested in her.
She's not a game changer, huh?
Not well.
The internet will claim it. Game changer signing. And then she'll just be like, Soraya now.
I don't know that she would be Soraya level, just because Becky's still in WWE and like fairly hot in WWE, but I think it's not going to be a Punk, and like that. Sadly, that's the measuring stick for every person they add. And like, would she be bigger than Mercedes? Probably, but I don't think she'd have any like lasting effect on anything.
No, she would just have comedy backstage segments with Renee Paquette, I'm
Yeah.
sure. And she would just feel like any other person on the roster after a couple weeks.
So, following that, we got a 4-way match for the AEW Continental Championship. Kazuchika Okada versus Mark Briscoe versus Orange Cassidy versus Konosuke Takeshita. You got two amazing talents in this. Shackled with one guy who we've put worst wrestler of the year and hasn't done anything to me of note. And then the other guy who's constantly been a joke. If it's not on Takeshita, it's a shame. I'm hoping Takeshita wins.
I know you're hoping, but it won't be. It'll be Okada. He'll retain in this match. And continue to say his favorite word over and over again. And the neckbeards and all the AEW fanatics out there will laugh and laugh and laugh, Mike.
Bro, I kid you not, the other day, he put on his Instagram, it was the match graphic, but like the 4 other guys were blanked out because it wasn't decided who was going to be in it yet. And he literally, like, he just put the B word over all of them.
Oh, so hilarious, huh?
And somebody put on Twitter and was like, oh my God, Okada is so great. Like, he is so funny.
That's hilarious, Micah. Did you not catch what he did? Put the B word. That's funny. He says it in a Japanese accent.
Yeah, he says it in broken English, so it's funny. No, it's not racist. It's not racist at all. It's funny.
No, it's not racist. You fed shill. Not racist. You're racist. You idolize a company that provides racist T-shirts.
Oh, come on. That was a cutback to our pre-conversation. Following that, though, we got Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW TBS Championship. Camille is banned from ringside. Obviously, this is going to be a Mercedes, and I think this match is going to be a stinker. And the AEW shills, we'll call it real graps. And I don't know. Shida has not been good to me since like Britt was on top of AEW. I think all of her matches end up clunky, but I'm sure I just don't like real wrestling.
Yeah, I'll be banned from the room when this match is going on. I'll be getting food.
You got to make sure Camille is going to be in her room, right?
Well, naturally, Micah, but yeah, I won't be. Yeah, you might have to do this match. Might have to review this match alone because, yeah.
Okay. Well, following that, we got MJF versus Daniel Garcia.
Okay. All right. MJF, I think he needs to win.
Yeah. Think he's going to get it, though?
Man. Yeah, I do. But I think he's going to give Garcia way too much in this match.
Oh, yeah. You already know.
Yeah.
I'm going to take MJF solely because if Daniel Garcia wins this, I'm going to be real pissed off. And we got 2 more matches to go. And it ain't going to be good. My thoughts on this pay-per-view will be soured if Daniel Garcia wins. But they would be even worse if the next challenger won for the AEW World Championship in this just stellar feud. Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry.
How mad would you be if Jungle Jack Perry beat Daniel Bryan?
Oh, we're done. We're not reviewing AEW anymore. That's it. I'm done.
Well, you think they are crazy enough to put all the titles on the Elite? I can see it happening.
Oh God! Don't even no. Take that back. I don't even want you to give anybody an inkling of an idea that is an okay decision to make.
In their heads, Micah, they think they are Evolution. They're going to come out after Jungle Jack beats Daniel Bryan. They're going to come out and they're all going to hold the titles up to the air.
Yeah,
And-
they're the evolution of something, all right.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna go with Jungle Jack, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You just don't want to watch them anymore. That's what it is. This will be the Jinder Mahal moment right here.
No, come on. You know what? Jinder would he would fold Jack Perry, man. Come on now, let's be honest.
Oh, Jinder's on that gas. He would make Jack Perry look like a child. But dude, I'm just
T-Rex
saying,
arm.
like this, if Jack Perry beats Bryan Danielson, and I don't think it's gonna happen,
But if it does,
the outrage, dude, I don't know if they could recover. Like seriously, I don't know that they could recover.
does the casino gauntlet title shot thing that they have, can Christian cash that in at any time?
It says at
Is it
any
like
time.
So it's a Money in the Bank type concept.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I'm still going with Jungle Jack here, man. I think Jungle Jack beats Daniel Bryan.
If it happens, I'm blaming you.
I don't want it to happen. I think it will though.
Taking Danielson. And for the main event and a lights out steel cage match, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page.
How does this work? How is this unsanctioned if they're providing the steel cage?
I guess that just means one of them has to get knocked out, correct?
Nah, it's not. So the whole thing about the unsanctioned match was that it didn't count for their win-loss record. But they don't even have that anymore. They took all that away.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? It's unsanctioned match for what reason? It's already no DQ. Why did it need to be unsanctioned?
This says here on Wikipedia, in addition to the match not having any rules and the objective being achieving a pinfall or submission anywhere, the match is not officially recognized by the promotion. In kayfabe, the match is sometimes used when a wrestler is injured and wants revenge but cannot be medically cleared. Thus, he agrees to a non-sanctioned match where the promotion is not held liable for any injuries incurred during the match. So if they came out and said that the promotion is not liable for any matches due to this being unsanctioned, that I could buy. But at least I didn't hear that on the broadcast, and I feel like that was just kind of thrown in there to say like, oh, it's a bigger steel cage match. Like,
so because they had a death match last time, right? So what's more than a death match? An unsanctioned rules match. Wouldn't death be the last resort here?
No. You have to you have to cleanse your soul for the match.
Okay. I'm sure they're gonna cleanse themselves in blood in this match.
Oh
we
yeah.
Get fire? Are we getting fire?
Probably. What's the over under for how many minutes they go before one of them starts bleeding? 5? I'll take the under.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Me too. I can see blood drinking happening in this match too.
Oh god.
They love that. They jerk themselves off to the blood.
Well, you said it. I'll take Swerve. Weirdly enough, I know this feels like Hangman has to get the win, but I'm gonna take Swerve.
It's a tough booking decision, bro. Like, because Hangman has not beaten Swerve at all throughout this whole feud. But Swerve kind of has to beat Hangman in this match because he burned his house down and made him cry in the middle of the ring.
Yeah. I think he kind of seems like a punk if he don't win.
He seemed like a punk when he was crying in the ring too, but I don't know. I don't know if there's any right decision here.
I think I would go with Swerve and just make that the mortal enemy of Hangman who he cannot beat. And then have Hangman like leave it alone for years, do his own thing, climb back up to the ranks of AEW, and be the champion or whatever again if it works. And then basically like have him on this conquest to prove to himself like that he's better than Swerve by winning everything and, doing all that. Does that make sense? And then he gets all that and he's like, I'm still not better than Swerve. Like, it still bothers him. And then you can run it back, in a year or two from now. I think that could work.
But Hangman hasn't won any match on pay-per-view all year, has he?
I don't believe so.
So I think he's due a win. Bro, Swerve broke into his house, threw a t-shirt on his newborn baby, which it don't get no more diabolical than that, bro. Newborn could have suffocated. Micah. I mean, Swerve stalked Hangman's pregnant wife. Like, bro, come on now. I think Hangman has to beat him.
I mean, I see it either way. I'm just going to take Swerve because if Hangman beats him, what?
You don't want him to win.
You hate Hangman. Punk said some choice words, and I have no reason not to believe them. I don't know, man. I just don't really know what you do with Swerve if he loses here. He just lost to Danielson. He just lost to Hangman, and it seems like they're, I guess, keeping him babyface. They don't know what they want to do with him. So I don't know, man. If he was going to be a babyface after this permanently, then I would say I feel like Swerve has to get the win because where does he go from here? Meanwhile, Page is the heel. He can kind of get his heat back. If Swerve is going to be a heel next week, okay, well, then it doesn't matter. Have Page win. And, the sad part about AEW booking is you don't know.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. That could happen.
So, I'm going to take Swerve, and my expectations for this card are not high, and I'm sure I will struggle to watch it as I typically do unless I find the time to watch it live.
Yeah, I'm going to Hanger.
I can't blame you for that decision. I just don't know where they go from him. Or I don't know where they go for either of these guys, honestly. But that's all we got for today. So I know where we're going, and that is away from the call. Thank you guys for sticking with us through all this. You guys really showed up for that latest episode we posted. We got more plays on that in one day than we've gotten for most of our episodes in a while. So we appreciate that. I promise we're trying to be caught up. We're trying to be consistent. We'll be back next week with the all-out review. Then we got a break from the PLEs and pay-per-views, just the weekly stuff. So we're getting back in the stride. College football is back in swing too. So everything is really flowing right now. It's a good time of the year. Fall is the best season. Go argue with the wall. Other than that, though, I thought it was a good show. Make sure you guys visit our link tree. Get your dead threads for all your college football needs. NFL just started too, so lots of sports kicking off. Baseball playoffs starting a month, so get your stuff for all of your favorite sports teams. Make sure to follow us Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, so you know when we're scooping and slamming next. Most importantly, thank you guys for listening. Have a good one.